you so much for taking your seat so swiftly. Quick question then. Who does not have a number 1 appointment? Oh, there you go. It's like it was meant to be. I know. Who has not got a number 2 appointment? Just Ian. That's not right, is it? No. Who hasn't got a number 3? There you go. Terry and Michelle, that's fine. Somebody hasn't got a number 2 that hasn't realised they haven't got a number 2. Well, we'll see when we get to that point who that person is. And we will not point and shake our heads. It's fine. Okay, fantastic. So, we now come to the 4sight slot this morning, which isn't a sales pitch, but an insight into a specialist field, area of our life, experience, etc. As well as being a great opportunity to sharpen your presentation skills. 4sight, again, another way to raise your profile, as if you didn't know. So if you are a member and would like to present to this group, I think the safest thing to say is join the queue, but make sure that we know that you are interested, because at the moment we are talking for the 3rd or last meeting of February. That's February next year. So there's a bit of a queue. So we're into March now.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Fantastic. So, without any further ado, this morning's 4sight speaker is the one and only Crosley, who is going to be talking to us about, this morning, the mindset technician shows the subconscious mind can ruin our goal to succeed. Simple programming, reprogramming can change everything. Now that's quite profound, and I'm sure we're going to get all of that explained right now. So, Cros, it's over to you.
Good morning. We're going to get it all explained because I've changed it. Because to be honest with you, it was trying to cram too much in, and all of a sudden it doesn't make any sense. So what I'm going to do to you this morning, I'm going to tell you a little story, because people often say to me, Cros, how did you get involved in all this stuff? And I said, well, many years ago, something happened to me that changed my life. Bottom line, went skin. And it totally changed my life. It all started when we moved to Australia. And we'd been quite successful in business. And we'd got a few quid, so we thought we'd go to Australia and teach them how to do business. Little did we know. Anyway, so we went to Australia with 2 40-foot containers and all our worldly possessions, and we arrived there and we were going to do the property job. And all of a sudden, my cousin came to me and said, you can't do the property job in Australia because you need a licence. So, first lesson of today, always check out the messenger. Because as it happens, you don't need a licence to do renovations, you need a licence to do building. But because we were new, we thought, oh, well, we've got plenty of money, we do something else. So we went out and we found a business that was turning over an enormous amount of money. They were asking a lot of money for it, but we thought, well, here we are, we can't do what we normally do, so we will do that. It was a business dealing in doorman, crowd control, which I'd had some experience in my life earlier on when I was in rock and roll. And we thought, yeah, well, that'll do. So we got involved in the business, and the first shock we had, check the small print, the first shock we had was that the business gave 30 days credit on payment. There was 250 staff. They worked an average of 20 hours a week at $10 an hour per week times 4. So that is waiting to come in. So we've now got to find the money to support that. So the first thing to do, make sure you check all your documents. That was a bit of a shock. So all of a sudden, we parted with quite a lot of our wealth at this point and bought the company. So then we had to start supporting things with our property and what have you to get this money in to support the company. So we're running the company, and the first thing we're working on, guess what? Get the payments down so that we're getting a weekly turnover, which was unheard of, but we were the biggest security company in Perth, so we had a bit of a sway, and our message was, look, we've got to get this payment down. We got it to 3 weeks, 2 weeks, and then we got it to 1 week, and all of a sudden, magic moments. During the course of doing that, we built the company up, we built a gymnasium. Money was no object with the gymnasiums, we had company cars, we had everything. We were the best equipped security company in Perth. You couldn't go anywhere else. So I found this guy, he was a lorry driver, and he was out in the field. Very smart guy, flat haircut, and big ears. And we got him, and he was working quite well. So what we done, he said, he's a handy little asset to the businesses, so we made him a director, right? Which, in our instance, we thought would be a great way of protecting our interests, whereby we're going to educate him, and if he's a director of the company, he's going to stick with us. Anyway, Christmas, I can't remember what year it was because I'm not very good at things like that, but we had a big Christmas party, close friends and family, and I remember it quite clearly, playing around in the pool, and Mike was there, his name was Mike, and he was there with his wife having a great time in the pool, and we were laughing and joking. The world was our oyster. Money was no object. Everything was lovely. On the 5th of January, the phone rang. What? The guy says to me, what was that? Entertainment Enterprises have just pulled the pin. They're going with another company. And about 10 minutes later, another phone call. Who was that? One after another, kept getting the phone call. Our business is disappearing from us and going to someone else. I said, quick, get hold of Mike. We've got to put a stop to this. You'll know what's going on. Are you up with me? Mike had spent as soon as we got the business to a position where it was self-supporting, because it was a weekly pay thing, which was an easy thing to do now, Mike had gone to all the customers and said, I'll do it all for $1 an hour less. Well, of course the companies are going to go, we're talking of a lot of money. He didn't have our wages to pay, he didn't have all the money to pay out on what we've laid out on cars and equipment. Anyway, so Cros goes in, and I'll put him on here. My lawyer, this is him in court. They all wear glasses like that, don't they? Look over the top of him like that. Grumpy bastard he was, anyway. I go in there and I said, look, the one good thing going for me, he was a director of the company. So I shot him. Paul, listen, this is the story. I relayed all the information to him, and he looked over his glasses at me like this. He said, Cros, fantastic story. You couldn't lose this. But my suggestion is, forget it. You're joking, forget it. He said, yeah, forget it. I said, what's the reason for that? He said, listen, if he goes and finds someone who's just left university and doing his first job, he could muck you about for 7 years. He said, if he come and got some wise old bastard like me, he said, I'd muck you about for 12 years. I said, yeah, but we still go for it. No. He said, because I want 50 grand up front to do all the preparation. And we've got to hope that that bloke can run a company. Because otherwise you're going to be knocking your pipe out, paying me money for 10 years possibly. And if he's let the business go, or he's not a good businessman, it's all going to be to no avail. He said, and that's what happens. 99 times out of 100, that's what happens. So lesson number 2, don't fight a battle that you can win but lose. Does that make sense? So appraise it very, very quickly. Don't sort of, listen, not making any aspersions here, but there ain't no one in this room rich enough to have principles. Trust me, try it. It's too dear. Cut your losses, run. So, where are we now? He says, I can't do anything to this guy, but I tell you what I have got going for me, right? What Uncle Cros has got going for him. Uncle Cros has got anger and the venom. He can't take that away from me, can he? Because I hate him, and every morning I can get up and I can imagine cutting him up. I can imagine running him over. I can imagine all those things. He can't take that away from me.
You sound like you're still good.
It's a bit of, no, listen, the story, listen, I'm dragging that along with me, right? I'm dragging that along with me. So all of a sudden, the banks get whisper. They're in trouble. What do the banks do? Straight away, want our money. Well, hang on a minute, well, give us a chance. So what we did, we had to sell everything to stop the banks doing it. Because when the banks get hold of it, they sell it to their pal for nothing and then give you a bill for doing it. So we thought, well, we'll knock all the house out and everything and we'll end up with some money. We actually ended up with, which seems like an awful lot of money, but to what we'd actually had, it was nothing. We ended up with $250,000. Dollars, sorry. Sound richer than what I was then. Anyway, so we decided, what are we going to do? Another lesson coming up, guys. When you're stressed, it is impossible to make a good decision. I don't care how clever you are when you're stressed, because what you do, you expect all the things that don't work when you're relaxed to work, because you're angry and you're going to put your shoulder to it and you're going to make sure it works. So, I said to Val in a previous life, Val, if we ever get involved in the hospitality industry again in any way, shape or form, or even talk about it, get a baseball bat and beat me over the head with it.
Obviously the bat wasn't big enough.
Because it's one of the hardest ways known of earning a living. But Cros wasn't going to have none of that. He'd heard through the grapevine of this company called Death by Chocolate that were doing franchises in New Zealand and Australia. I said, we'll goose them. We'll start running Australia. No passion, no nothing. Just because someone else is doing it. This is it. Because I'm all stressed and saying I'm going to put my money out and do it. So we spent all the money, and this is what Forrest done. He didn't start a business. He said, we'll franchise it. How fucking stupid can you get? Franchises are born out of successful businesses. And here's me, Herbert the Dim, he's going to build one so I don't have pictures like Lizzie does, like moody etched glass. That's no good for us. Deadly desserts. We're going to have the cut glass with all the things etched on it properly, and we're going to have all the best bits and pieces, so we can knock a whole lot out, right? Because we're going to franchise it. Cut a long story short, we go into that business, set it up beautifully, and we had great fun, didn't we? Working out the menus, and we got the business running, but it was hard work. We hadn't looked too hard into it. Ego. We had our ego massaged by a big company that came to us and said, we understand that you're doing deadly desserts, because we were opening in Northbridge, which was the place, it was like Soho in Perth. And they said, come to our cinema complex and open in our cinema complex. So we thought, we'd really love a business like yours. We didn't realise we were making that much of an impression on them. So all of a sudden, we move in, then we start realising we haven't done our homework again. Because, think about it, in Australia, if you can't park within 10 feet of where you're going to go and have a bit of grub, you don't go. You've got to park. So, big car park outside, lovely. But when the cinemas are full, guess what? No parking, right? So when the cinemas were busy, when we should be at our busiest, the people that want to come and see us can't get in because the cinemas are full. But we said, well, that's all right. I think we can run on the people going through to the cinemas and all that. So we get involved. How are we doing?
You all right?
Good.
7?
Good, that's lovely, because the last 5 minutes is really exciting. So, we're even more excited. So all of a sudden, there we are, and the cinemas, we said, well, when they go to the cinemas, we'll cop them on the way out. But the cinemas run 2 or 3 films, well, I think there's 8 cinema screens there. So the foyer is full, and all the people that are in the cinemas, rather than let them out to barge their way through that, what do they do? Let them out the back door. always. To be honest with you, at some days, some evenings, it was great. We had a rope thing like you know, having a bank. With people queuing up, it was great, but it wasn't sustainable. It was just too hard work. We were working 80 hours a week, right? And as hard as I've ever worked in my life. And it was just too much. So in the end, we had a chat. And I says to Belle, ain't no good. We had a 15-year lease, because I wasn't going to muck it out with one of them 3 years. They wanted to give me 3 years lease. I wouldn't have none of that. I had 15. So we only owed 13 years rent. This was lovely. So all of a sudden, I've rung the owner of the place. I said, you've had anything? I said, you've had everything. You've had me Rolls Royce, the house, the this, the that, It's all finished. I said, I'll walk away, but what I will do, I'll leave all the furniture in there so it don't look like we've done a runner. It's going to be all right, so you'll let it out easy. He said, all right. Didn't even send us the rent for the last month, did they? Brilliant. What a bonus. Anyway, the moral of the story is that as I put the key in the door, I felt fantastic. Lesson number 47, whatever it is. There's a lot of lessons in here. Adversity, what have you come and teach me today? Whoa, I didn't realise you was going to give it to me all in one hit. But all of a sudden, we put the key in the door and we felt great. So that's a great lesson. Know when to fold them. Pushing crap uphill with this bloody great big weight behind you. And guess what? Every single thing that went wrong, guess who I blamed? Him. This now weighs 27 tonnes. It's getting bloody heavy. So, all of a sudden, oh, quickly, how'd you like this one? 250 grand, 2 years before. We could have bought an house, laid by the pool, paid ourselves 25 grand a year, which was all right, for 2 years. Guess what? We'd have still had the house, paid ourselves, so in effect, we could have laid by the pool and had 200 grand. Now we're skint. Absolutely. You would have had to dig a hole 100 foot deep to be as poor as me in those days. Then I found the book. It had been sent to me on the internet years before, but I didn't need to know anything about how to get hold of a few quid or how to run my life. I was Jack the Lad, wasn't I? Plenty of money, big company. Now I've got nothing. I read the book, and in there was a line. It said, if you do exactly what you're told in this book, you cannot fail to get rich. So I thought, for the first time in my life, I'm going to do what I'm told. Anyway, to cut a long story short, we looked at that book, and in it, it said, somewhere in your life, there's something that you're dragging around with you that you should forgive. And I said to Belle, because we were doing the course together. We was doing it with Rhonda Byrne, who wrote The Secret, funny enough. And we was looking at each other, and I said, I will forgive anyone on earth, but I ain't forgiving him. She said, if you're going to do what it says in the book, this wasn't actually in the book, this is the course that went with it. If you're going to do what you're told, you've got to do it. Okay. Then the shock came. You ain't only got to forgive him, but you've got to send him a letter with all the forgiveness in it to make sure it was done. Well,
You've got to mean it.
do what?
And you've got to mean it.
Oh yeah, you've got to mean it, yeah. So you can't have your fingers crossed on that. So all of a sudden, we wrote a letter, and it was, you know, and actually I came to terms with it, and I said, I think this could be good. So we wrote the letter, found the thing. Here's the letterbox. From in it popped. Guess what? Boom! Gone! We felt like we'd been reborn. I felt nearly as good as when I walked away from the shop. Almost, that was a good time, but we felt reborn. Because we weren't dragging this bloody... Life's hard enough without dragging that great thing behind you, isn't it? So, what happens? Later, we meet the guy. This is a big test. Have we really forgiven this man? I walked up to him and said, well, here you go, mate. Touch. The alcohol told of him. everything that could have gone wrong to that man went wrong with it. Now, I'm not making any sort of pairing things off here, but everything I'd wished had happened to him happened. Now, I'm not saying there's anything to it, but it was quite scary. So, what happened to him? And this is what happens to lotto winners, right? Mike was down here, and all of a sudden, when he nicked my business, he went up here, right? That's what happens to lotto winners. When lotto winners win lotto, they don't change mentally. If they're an idiot, they just become an idiot with money and do sillier things with more money, right? So, just because you get money doesn't give you any intelligence. So, he's nicked my business and he's gone up here. Same as a pool's winner. But you see, the trouble is, things went a bit bumpy and he fell to here, right? I'll have that pound. That's my phone, isn't it? Sorry. So, he's fell down to here. Now, he doesn't know. He hasn't built all these steps, has he? So what happened next? Right? He don't know the steps, he's got to go here, hasn't he? Right? And then all of a sudden, because he's nicked it, you've got to know the steps. So in life, in business, enjoy the steps, because that's your protection when things go wrong. If you try and miss out the steps, right, you get confused. And that's why you have coaches and things like that, because they may know the answers to stop you making those mistakes. And one little tip, was that a ding-a-ling-a-ling? Right, one little tip, because I go on forever, they used to call me the hook in the old days, just you hook round in that hook. One little tip, do every step, don't try and do tomorrow's work today, don't try and rush things, enjoy it. Enjoy every single step. And when you get here, when things go wrong, it's the biggest security you'll have that you did things the right way. Thank you very much.